My name is Claudia Cervantes-Soon. I am an assistant professor here in the School of Education at UNC-Chapel Hill. I most recently came from the University of Texas at Austin, where I received my PhD in curriculum and instruction with a specialization in cultural studies and education. Part of my training also focused on the education of Mexican American students, as well as on women's and gender studies in education. My dissertation focused on examining the identity and agency of urban working class girls in the border city of Ciudad Juarez, Mexico. This was an ethnographic study, and it involved studying these girls or working with these girls in a school that focuses on critical pedagogy practices. And of course, language is a very contested concept in our schools today, and not just in schools but in society in general. And I focus not so much on the linguistic part of it, the syntax and all of that, but I focus more than anything on the social cultural ideas of language and the impact that language use and power dimensions have on children's identities, and thus on their aspirations and their educational outcomes, of course, and of course also on access to many things, not just education, but issues of power in their communities. And so that is one aspect of it, and part of that involves working with educators and trying to find ways in which we can develop pedagogy and policies that are additive rather than subtractive for English language learners or language minority students. Pedagogies and practices and policies that tap into the knowledge that these students bring and that value and recognize their languages and legitimize their knowledge and that of their families as well. That is one significant part of my research. The other area that I focus on is theories of borderlands theories and feminist theories, specifically Chicana feminist theories in education. And what I focus on is the ideas that they highlight on subaltern knowledges and subaltern ways of knowing that are usually not recognized in schools, but that are very significant for our marginalized communities or for minoritized communities. And so these are knowledges that really can support their learning in school, but that often are not only unrecognized, but they're penalized, right? So these ideas, I also focus on how we can tap into these knowledges to support students who are in contested spaces, in dystopic spaces, and transnational settings. So that is the second part of my research. I am excited to be here in North Carolina because we have a very fast-growing population of Latinos, and I'm excited to learn about their experiences and the knowledges that they bring. This is what we consider the new Latino diaspora, and so it's very exciting to learn about what people are doing, how educators are responding in an area that hasn't been traditionally a recipient of immigrants or that doesn't have a history of Latino presence. So that is very exciting to me. Also, it is very exciting to me to be part of a community who really stresses ideas of social justice and critical education. And so I'm excited to collaborate with the faculty, with other new faculty and senior faculty here in the School of Education, as well as learn from the practices that teachers are already doing, and of course the excitement of so many students interested in the areas that I'm concerned about.